Well, hello there friends, and welcome back to Simple Essentials. I hope you've been enjoying the decluttering we've been doing of different areas of my home, and I hope you've been decluttering along, whether you have a lot or a little to get rid of. It's kind of a maintenance thing that we just have to keep on doing. It's just the reality of life. Now today we are going to tackle this area back here, which is my walk-in pantry. I'm so fortunate to have a butler's pantry, but it has started to get a little bit messy back here. We are pretty tidy people, but both my husband and I work full-time. We travel a lot for work. We're in between two places a lot. So it has kind of gotten a little bit messy, and it actually needs a really good clean. If you follow along on the channel, you know that I rarely clean and declutter at the same time, but today I'm going to make an exception because the shelves in here do need a wipe, and I do have a little bit of time this afternoon to tackle this project. So let's start going through my pantry. I know that there are things in there that I can actually get rid of as well. We're going to move a couple of things around and see what we end up with. So let's see what I can get rid of today. If you need to tackle a space in your home, your kitchen, or even your pantry, feel free to pop on this, enjoy some music, and clean along with me. I think it's only natural that certain spots in our house become dumping grounds of things, and because our kitchen and living room, which is right next to this pantry, is upstairs at our house, far away from the bins, we tend to just sort of put things here temporarily, and we do a reset pretty much every single week, but that's just how we do it. You might also wonder why I have an ironing board and my clothes area up here, and it's because we use them in the living room just outside, so I keep them up here because it makes the most sense. I'm also going through my appliances here and having a quick look, and decided to get rid of this old pressure cooker that someone kindly gifted us because I'm using my new Instant Pot for that sort of stuff. So I would recommend that you go through your appliances because my Instant Pot does pressure cooking, it does slow cooking, it does all sorts of things. So it's actually a lot of things combined into one. You can't see as well, but this was really dusty, so I'm literally wiping down all the shelves because there was a lot of dust gathering up in here. This is a plank steak board. I will include a photo for you on the screen of what that dish looks like. It's a Swedish dish. It's amazing. We don't cook it often enough, so this is my prompt to myself and my husband to start doing that. And with larger appliances as well, you do certainly need to go around and kind of move things around a little bit because my Instant Pot is actually too tall to fit in how the shelves previously were. So I really like this about this pantry, that the storage is open, but I would like to do a further project with more kind of matching tubs and things like that. So this is normally where my convection oven goes. That's why that shelf is empty. And back behind me there is a lot of beer brewing stuff in that grey, brown box that I ended up relocating under the stairs instead because my husband hasn't used it for a really long time, but he wanted to keep it. So I thought, why don't we move it to somewhere that is less high profile, and then he can still use it when he's ready to brew some homemade beer. So this is all my baking stuff here, and how I organize these sort of things is that I have unopened packages at the back, so sort of my overflow stock, and in that white container are licorice powder. I love making like chocolate cake with salty licorice. It's a weird Swedish thing for some of you maybe, but I really like it. So I got that in Sweden on my most recent trip. But this white tub here is where all my kind of everyday baking items go. So if I'm baking, I can just grab that whole tub and bring that out. Moving along with other appliances, I'm very ruthless. This is a popcorn machine, and we actually use that quite often. But I am pretty ruthless with appliances in not keeping things that we don't use all the time. Going through my kind of smaller appliance drawer, I do have a duplicate stick blender. So I will be getting rid of the white one and keeping the grey one because it's newer and I think it's a little bit more powerful and it has better attachments. So all the white ones I'm going to put up in my local Pay It Forward group. And it's funny because I did the final bit of this video the next day and I had put it up in my local Pay It Forward group and it was gone within, a couple of hours. Someone had picked it up. So streamlining that a little bit, moving along cupboard by cupboard here, and all the appliances that I am keeping, we are using quite regularly. Like I said, I did get rid of that big brown box that you saw in the far cubby there. So that's how we're tracking so far in terms of things to get rid of. These things are going to get rehomed to other spots in the house. And now we're looking at probably the most important drawer in our whole house, which is the coffee drawer. And in here we keep all of our coffee, tea, honey and things like that. And this is also where we keep our long life milk. So I'm just sort of sorting through here. We do filter coffee every morning. It's what we really like. I had some surplus tea there and a couple of different decaf coffee, honey, all that sort of stuff. So I just keep this all together in the one box, and it's turned out pretty neat. You know, I do need to straighten this up from time to time. On these crates as well, I put little felt feet so that they don't scratch the shelving. So I can highly recommend that, depending what material you have, obviously, in your pantry. Similarly here with oils, vinegars, etc., I do have surplus in the back. I also do recommend to keep all of your oils and sauces in a plastic tub. It just makes it so much easier to clean. And this is also a nifty hack for my quinoa, for rice and things like that. I just tape the instructions on the back of the box. Now this white box here is just decorations, candles, random things like that, napkins, all that sort of stuff. It's not the prettiest, but it works quite well, and that's where I keep it. Moving on to another very important drawer in every house, which is the snack drawer. This was fairly well stocked, but it really needed a wipe out. You can't really see in the shadow there in the light, unfortunately, but it was extremely dusty and crummy. So just giving it a wipe down with this cloth, and I'm just using warm soapy water and rinsing this cloth out in between sections. By the way, Vegemite, have you tried it? If you're not from Australia, you might not know what Vegemite is, but it is a not so tasty thing if you ask me. My husband likes it though. This final section at the bottom of the pantry is where I keep all my veggies that don't need to go in the fridge. And on the bottom is where I have sort of my pasta, noodle, rice, etc. drawer. Onions obviously will always create a mess. I do clean this out from time to time, but I hadn't for a while. So just giving this a really nice wipe down as well. These white drawers, I got them from, I think it was from Kmart here in Australia. They all came with lids, but I only use a lid on my veggie one because you want to store your veggies in kind of a cool, dark place. The other lids I don't actually use, so you'll see a little bit later on, both for the large lids and smaller lids for tubs that I have in other parts of my house. I've been holding on to these lids for like 2-3 years, and I'm not using more than one of them, so I'm going to get rid of those. And here in my noodle and taco drawer, I'm just stacking this up nicely. And I was really excited that I've been able to find some gluten-free kind of chicken noodles that my husband really likes from, I think they're from Coles here in Australia. So worth trying if you are GF. And we're gonna whisk through this top section of my pantry super fast. I really just wanted to go through this and wipe the shelves down. I knew that I rotate my food out really often, so none of the stuff was expired in this food section. But essentially, I just wanted to go through each of the areas and just go through and make sure that it was nice and clean underneath, because however tidy you are as a person, there are times when you really just need to wipe things down with hot soapy water. Now these shelves have maybe non-pantry things on them because they're the first thing you see when you walk into the pantry. So that card there that I showed you was a beautiful card my husband gave me. And these cups I've gotten from my grandmother in Sweden, who has since passed. And it's a set of 6 teacups with little saucers and a side plate for what we in Sweden called fika, which is basically coffee and cake or coffee and something sweet. I don't use these all that often, but they have traveled all the way across the world, and my goodness did they need a wipe down. You can't really see the cloth, but it was getting pretty dusty and yucky at this point, so I did actually have to change my cloth about halfway through cleaning out the pantry. The final top section here that I did give a wipe out is a little bit hard to film. It's a bit of an awkward angle, but it's got basically vases and bowls and a few other things. So I ended up getting rid of one clear glass vase that I don't really use all that often. And this other shelf has sort of supplements and vitamins, things like that on it, plus some of my husband's paperwork and bits and bobs. So this is sort of more of his shelf. So I ended up keeping most of the things on there. I also did find these travel stickers that I am going to sew onto our travel backpack. You can see that one in the luggage declutter that I did not long ago. I will add a link below in the description so you can check that out if you want. Okay, so it's the next day. I ran out of time yesterday, but I am really happy with how this came out. I just gave everything here a really good wipe, as you saw in the previous footage. Didn't get rid of an awful lot of things. I've already decluttered plates in a previous video, and none of this stuff here is expired. I rotate through it pretty well. Bar cabinet, and then yeah, so pretty much up here it was just a really good clean. And down here my cat is hiding. Hi Lemmy, what you doing? Yeah, she loves hanging out in here, hiding behind things. These bins here I got from Kmart or something, and I'm really keen to get something a little bit taller that fills the space a little bit better, but that'll be a separate organizing video. But basically down here I've just got my veggies, got my pastas, got my cat, got my snack drawer. I did a little reshuffle over here as well, so I've got my Instapot now lives in this cubby here. When the lid is on, it is a bit taller. I've just got the lid drying in the other room. And down here we've got my convection oven and drinks and things like that. So I do want to do a separate organizing thing in here with matching bins, but in reality that's going to have to wait a little while. Over here I've also got my horses clothes airing stuff, and my ironing board, because my husband tends to iron his shirts up here. But on this side I basically just got the wine fridge we got gifted, recycling trash, and the green bin. So I've given this a really quick tidy. I am going to be doing a deep clean of my fridge freezer, which are right here, and the whole house in a coming video. So, but for now, I'm pretty happy with how that turned out and how much we could get rid of. And there you go. I hope you found some inspiration in today's video. There is always stuff that needs to leave our houses, whether it's broken and goes in the trash, whether we can donate it to a friend, family member, a secondhand shop, or like in my case, the local Pay It Forward group will probably get the blender thing. I think that can definitely go to someone who can put it to good use. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please give it a thumbs up and join the channel as a subscriber if you're not already. And I look forward to see you next week.